Let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner with his head trainer, Gerard Capobianco. He's wearing white, trimmed with red. His professional record, an excellent one. 24 victories. 20 of those 24 wins by knockout. Only 2 defeats. From Long Island, New York, USA, the challenger, former WBC International Heavyweight Champion, Joe Smith Jr. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He's wearing black trimmed with silver and stands with his head trainer, Gennady Martinovo. Wearing black with silver, his professional record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, including 11 big wins by knockout. Domingos Badai from St. Petersburg, Russia, the reigning and defending, undefeated WBA light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves, bang at the bell. God bless.
It's Junior, again, hard hitter from Mastic, Long Island. Fighter with a world title belt and the amateur pedigree to back it up. Does Smith have enough to hang? Can he close the talent gap?
Dmitry Bivol has faced someone with the power of a Joe Smith.
Smith burst onto the world scene, had that huge upset over Andrew Fonfon twice, stopped him in round. His claim to fame, of course, is beating the legendary Bernard Hopkins when Bernard was in his 50s, but that was B-Hop's last occasion, Sergio.
Yes, he did. It was a sad way for a legend to go, but that's how legends die hard. That entrance by Joe Smith Jr., I got the chills.
The chant is up here. We're in Verona, New York, not too far away from the International Boxing Hall of Fame, so it is a drive. It's quite...
Smith putting a lot of pressure, body pressure, but so fighting behind the jab.
Sergio, they feel that Bivol, is obviously outstanding. He hit. Do you buy that?
No, I think Bivol is all around a fighter, and I thought he was all puncher, but like he told us, I actually like feet. I like feinting. I don't just go out there and try.
His promoter called him an intellect, lip service. Defense is important. No. He's going to smartly. And backing Bivol up. Good jab again by Bivol. And another. Jab with him, but you can see the difference.
That's what Smith told us. We asked, because I hate when fighters punch in between. They know they can't compete
with the jab and get close enough to land a hard right hand.
Punch out.
One thing about Bivol, he does not go to the body a lot. Aware of that as he tries to go inside.
Bivol fairly effective with that jab twice in his career. Good body shot there by Bivol, and he tries with a hook at the... What an unbelievable, skillful fighter. Round 2 here. WBA title fight, 175 pounds. Dmitry Bivol in with the white trunks with the stars. And Sergio, your thoughts on Smith?
Attempting is a good word, because Bivol passed the test. He looked for Bivol does. He just looks for the right ones with the
telltale sign is the jab. You see, you're right. It's not only one fight in 2017. Only one. Thought they had Artur Beterbiev locked up in November, but that fell through. So Johnson bounced back with a win here earlier. Difficult, Chris Maddox, to navigate.
That fight initially was earmarked for HBO last year. HBO goes out of business.
Smith comes his jaw at least underneath his. So trying to come in defensively sound to get in the pocket. Finding his range with the jab.
He's looking to counter jabs. Those are power jabs right there. But if you
was regrouping there for a moment, Bivol
discouraged. I hate to say that with such a brave fighter, but you could tell he's a little discouraged in the timing and the pop behind it.
And he take that little break. Let me regroup. Bivol said, "Oh no, you're not breathing. I'm coming at you." And a nice combination. The champ with a classy combination, straight ahead with the jab in the right hand, and now backs out of danger.
Obviously, they bothered Smith because there was a discouraged look in that round.
Sergio, if you're Gerard Capobianco, Joe needs something specific. Give him something he can work with.
jab and bang the body away. That's going to be the easiest with Bivol, because Bivol, he has good feet. He steps back nicely, and obviously he has that bang the body up a little bit. Touch some.
Joe Smith Jr. in the first round coming out with a lot of pressure, and now looks like
Smith didn't fall for it.
Crawled back up.
Yeah, he's a hard hitter, and if he didn't break that jaw in that second round,
I know he has a lot of power. He said, I've sparred with Bivol with tremendous respect for Smith all week. He said, look, I know Smith's going to come in here and try to make a fight for his people.
Trying to set something up upstairs. Very smart on Bivol's part.
But your first priority is to win. Win rounds, be irritating when the war is going to be made. He opens up now.
3 rounds because he knows the power that systematically he's breaking him down, trying to discourage a power puncher.
Applying a lot of pressure to Sergio. It's almost sneaky power. But
a very smart fighter. As you can see, he hates being against the ropes. He wants to keep the...
Kind of bounce it off the left eyebrow, amateur pedigree. And we say the guy's got nearly 300 amateur. There is a gap in talent here, gap in skill.
Down.
Is a favorite? We talk Bivol, Beterbiev, Koval. Anybody stand out to you?
I think Beterbiev, impressive. He got up from the canvas. He showed devastating puncher as well. I think he's dominated by Eastern Europe.
Chance up for Joe Smith now is wider than I even thought.
When you're fighting an economical hook.
Smith coming in. Knows if I get my man hurt, that's the time. You might only get one chance.
In that last exchange.
Skills are there as well for Bivol. Move. He was able to clutch just for a moment.
No measuring.
Straight. Smith's corner saying
he loves feinting. He loves using. Before his back was going to hit the ropes, he spinned around and stayed in the middle all the way up to the other side of the ring. Very smart chip on Bivol's part.
He said he does there.
Big puncher is really good with his feet like that and economical with his.
Trying the hook off southpaw, at least change.
I don't think Joe Smith has a bad strategy in this fight. He just can't get that jab through. Dmitry Bivol's defense is excellent.
Of a puzzle from a guy who is fundamentally sound.
Break.
High ring IQ. To his credit, when he thought he had his man hurt, glance, better than a glance. Caught him really flush.
Clean punch, but I don't think he won it.
He didn't win the round, but he won momentum, and that's all you need.
A hint of success with a good hard shot.
Watch the break. Watch that elbow.
And Bivol certainly wasn't that close.
Smith tried that over. How it's going to work with an educated boxer like Bivol. He should try to set that up. Go down.
He was able to land a right hand just a few seconds ago. Joe Smith takes a deep breath, tries to wade in.
A fighter, a dangerous fighter.
A hard hook. Smith has a. Again, it's strange to say when a guy's he's got a good jaw.
That was a really pretty move on Bivol's part. Just when Joe Smith was trying to just ring generalship at its best.
A loaded weapon. And Bivol is supremely confident, and you can see on his face. Able to get out of danger.
Every punch is every punch perfect. That's economical on his part.
Doubles up on the jab, and he hits him with that second. Able to spray out a few more. Smith at bay.
Told us in the fighter meetings, I love foot feigning. I love deep.
You told me in the fighter meetings that you did that your nickname was Latino Tyson.
Final seconds, Smith trying. You're a main event guy, but you're out saying, Bivol's out watching the fights.
I love fighting. They're supporting you all the way.
Wet in the corner. See Gary Rosado trying to dry that up.
Thank you.
And they're trying to dry that up now so no one slips in the corner. I'm going to use some energy here. He's trying.
You have to be in great shape to have experience going deep into fights.
Now, Bivol outlanding Smith Jr., but 80 to...
You don't know, punch stat numbers like that, I really don't like to follow. Throwing, punching, and you're blocking them. They're not landing.
Well, you use it if it's instructive, but wonder if there's another way of looking at it. It is just picking Smith apart. And his moment definitely caught him flush with that right hand. Bivol. York. Going to be a fun summer this year. Donald Curry.
Glad to hear that Donald Curry's being accepted.
Former welterweight champion, #1 pound for pound at one point.
I don't know why. A lot of people question Donald Curry, but he was a 2-division champion.
Okay. The Hall of Fame every year inducts 3 people no matter what. that should not be the case. Because there are years, Brian, that
fighters, if Donald Curry belongs in the Hall of Fame, they'd say yes, including myself. I think
maybe he's a peak Hall of Famer. He's #1 pound for pound.
before they put somebody away, but I'm anxious, Brian, to see Tevin in a significant fight. Can they make a Gervonta?
Top of the food chain stuff, but you know, Farmer is there and skill-wise. Round 7 here. Dmitry Bivol with an outstanding performance, subtle ways, but he is just Smith a level below, doing everything he can to try to close that gap. It has been difficult.
Joe Smith, we know what he is. He's a blue line, tough as nails. And Bivol, he's the opposite. An energy, doesn't waste space in the ring. He knows when to punch. Just an all-around.
Not at MLB Network. Talking Hall of Fame. All right, we'll do it. I would say it wouldn't have to be.
There are some years too, Brian.
It was a wide left hook around the guard that landed.
Smith has never been down. That hook didn't quite land. That right hand did. Bivol now picks up the pace.
And Smith still looking to counter with a big shot. That's what makes him dangerous.
Ooh, he ate a right with a short, crisp right hand, and now an uppercut. Wow, he is using...
Bivol just spinned out of there and didn't back up all the way to the other. The ring, the space, the punch selection.
Behind your head. Break!
Get back into here, round 7. By the way, we have
changes. Dmitry Bivol is going to have a very hard time getting it.
There's talk of one down easy.
Now, Bivol is on a very tough side.
Sugar Ray Leonard, Kay Adam, 168, and fight Callum Smith and get a guy again who has not universally acclaimed, but the champion.
Absolutely, and we saw him at the fighter drinking water. He looked comfortable. He's very easily making 175, and he believes.
Brown, who's on the run now, on the way. Politics, it is possible to make good fight. You want to see Bivol tested again by
will be an interesting matchup. I would like to see that.
Joe Smith Jr. is here in the ring, and it's the 8th round, and he is not quitting. You know that. Smith tries with the uppercut.
Push him down to him, so Bivol's maybe taking this round off, and Joe Smith.
Oh, another hard shot, and throw a hard short hook and bounce it right off Smith.
It landed in the last
nose. Now power shots from Bivol, backing Smith up. Smith's final 30 seconds. Smith tries to jab out of the corner, and he does.
10 seconds, look for the bell.
First thing he says, I don't know how this guy's still standing. You're really doing beautiful.
You know, the many things to be in.
Why don't we throw? So, and this seems to be right at the crux. But it's not his night. Not against this guy.
And you can't criticize Bivol because, look, when he fought Chilemba, KG, veteran. And he fought a former champion in Pascal. Another punch. Now he's fighting the definite.
Wow, that was dirty, but that, you can say, hey, look, that's it. Can't do that. With everything he has, he finally had the man on top of him and thought, let me throw him.
Look, not for nothing. I agree with you, BK. Attention, you can't do it with your punches, do it wrestling.
Your pro body slam?
Can't do that, clearly. Hard hook from Bivol. Smith is still on his feet. That Bivol will occasionally, he has different velocity on his punches, and he will throw a harder shot now and then.
You know, Sergey, to your earlier point, I would fight after Chilemba.
He tries to throw out a long jab, hoping that he can follow it up with that. And the moment he stops punching, Bivol picks it up.
Slowly there.
I think that was instinct. The tough guy came out of it, and then he boxing match.
I'm with you, Sergio. He was conflicted there at the end. That's the middleweight championship. You saw it like that they were respectful on the press tour. You don't have to trash publicity for the middleweight championship of the world. We know why Joe Smith did that, and you can see. Well, I like the one thing, Sergio, maybe
frustrating fighting a guy you can't touch because Bivol knows how to use the ring, but the space, like right there, look, Joe Smith came up short with 3 punches overhand right. That's discouraging, that's frustrating.
First shot at a world title belt for Joe Smith Jr. He's 24-2. So this is his shot at the title. But this is what it's like when you find it.
They're used to punching something. They're always accustomed. When they finally do miss like they do there, they get discouraged.
It's hard. Again, we haven't seen Smith fly.
There are some guys that fight, and Bivol just catches everything. Like, though he's not trying to avoid those punches, he's just
Back far enough to counter, like not far enough to where he's a wedge. That's what makes him dangerous.
Dancing now. Trying to stay out of harm's way. Smith doing everything he can. So just as we're singing his praises and say, look, give credit to Joe Smith Jr., he has real success. So it's round 11.
For Joe Smith Jr., this is his opportunity. Jump right back on him.
Has Bivol been wobbled? That's a hard jump. Well, this is where your poker face comes to the fore, Sergio, right? Because he was shook as he went to his stool.
Said he likes to do, because he's going to need it in this round.
Smith lunging in, tries with the hook. Joe Smith Jr. has no knockouts after the 9th round. If he has that power, it's usually early. This is also his first time past 10 rounds. But he is the aggressor in this round, there's no question.
Make his way in with a powerful jab anywhere, either the chest, the torso, upstairs, but move your way in with a power jab.
Yeah, now he's trying for that one shot, and it's going to did it right there with a jab in the right hand. The crowd is back into it. That landed by Smith. Can he pull it out of nowhere? Is slightly different now. Not quite as in command. He is still poised, and you see there. Beautiful work by Bivol. Hook to follow up.
That's the thing about fighting devastating punchers. They always have that puncher's chance from realizing that now.
And you have to give him credit, Sergio. I mean, I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying we have to. He's fighting all 3 minutes, down to the last second that was. Down the face of Joe Smith. So he's been caught this round. Bivol has definitely connected.
Joe Smith has been waiting for years for this title shot, his whole career for this title shot. He's going to lay it all out in that 12th round.
And the fact that he's back in this now in the final round. World title fight at light heavyweight of every round, and at the last second gets back in this fight. He has lost most every round. By the way, good translate is going on. What the bleep just happened?
I guess the F word doesn't translate well in Russian.
Joe Smith Jr. has shot at the title. He's got 2 minutes. Bivol dancing. He's out here trading. He's just smart about it. But Joe Smith has that world in this fight. Wild right hand, way off. Smith.
This is too quiet of a round if I was Joe Smith Jr. I would let it.
1 minute to go, has been quieter. Remember, Bivol answered with a lot of hard shots to drive Smith back. Can he keep him at bay?
Hey, don't push it on him.
Is standing right in front of him and lands a hard hand.
Great counter shot there by Bivol.
He's in the 175-pound division, but there's nobody more skilled than Dmitry Bivol.
Bivol,
Well, but his legs aren't really under him with that second right counter that Bivol.
Smith is running out of time.
10 seconds.
He really burns a lot of gas in the 11th, and now Bivol has him hurt. Hard right hand. Smith has never been down. Bivol on the attack. Wow, what a way to finish.
Seconds more, it would have been over.
Bivol is a little cloudy, by the way.
He was not the same fighter. That shot had an impact.
No question. And at the slightest,
To the winner by unanimous decision, still undefeated and still the WBA light heavyweight champion of the world, Dmitry Bivol.
to fight against a very game tough guy with real world-class power.